Hello, and welcome to a new Minisode series for my podcast, Art Like Everything Else, the podcast. So these are going to be minisodes that I sort of release in between my bigger episodes because I kind of want to get in the habit of you all seeing my face more regularly. And so this week's minisode, I want to talk about a clip from one of those vertical stories that be going on TikTok. So this one is called um, Swapped Heiress by My Bestie. And now I understand that with shows like this, it has to be some level of suspended belief, like the acting and how so much of the story sort of play out is given very Darman, and it's more or less like expectation is that like yes, you have someone who's almost cartoonishly evil, and then the other person who's righteous and good, and these cartoonishly evil people are just out to get them because they're jealous and things of that nature. But what stood out to me, especially in this episode, is how good the main mom is supposed to be. That's not the bestie. That's being the one who's being taken advantage of. So if you haven't watched this one, honestly, I'm going to spoil it. I'm not even gonna hold you. I'm going to spoil it. But a lot happens in in this hour and a half. So like I'm not spoiling everything. Essentially what happens in Swapped Birth, no, Swapped Heiress by My Bestie is that like character one, her best friend is having an affair with her husband and has a child. But now they supposedly had a child on the same exact day, same time. And so best friend is like, I am going to swap our babies so that you'll be stuck raising my baby, then I'll be raising your baby. Because you're raising my baby, you are going to love her and then you're going to sign away your entire fortune to your child. And then I will be raising your baby and I'm going to abuse that baby. And that is premise. That's part of the premise. That's the best that's the bestie's thought process. Of course, main girl remembers. Well, she doesn't remember, but she catches her this bestie plotting with her husband, and bestie go. And so when after bestie and husband leave after swapping the babies, old girl goes swap babies back. Now, fast forward, kid's about to turn 18. The entire life of Bestie's daughter, the Bestie, has been abuse. Abuse, whole life, all abuse. Of course, old girl got her life together. She's an heiress. And so her daughter is sitting pretty. Now, we want to believe that only the Bestie is evil. But what I want to talk about is how evil the girl is. Because how are you knowingly allowing a child to experience physical, verbal abuse in your presence, and she has been doing so for at least the last 17 years, and you've not done anything about it. So there is a little throwaway line where it's just like, I've called CPS and they still haven't done anything. And it's like, why aren't you like trying to adopt that child? Why aren't you doing more to help that child? So the conversation for this week's episode is that just because you feel you take the only what couple of proper channels that you can, if there's an ability to do more. Always do what you can to help, especially helping children. It's really important that, especially in this day and age now, that we show up as much as possible, as often as possible, until we can actually get these person who we see in need the help that they need. And now I'm not saying that that's going to be easy because I know it's hard. I worked in the helping profession before. I've worked for nonprofits before. It's very difficult to get people the things that they need, and quite literally beyond your control. But that doesn't mean you give up or you stop trying to help that person. And that was just something that was really, really ugly to me about the main character when like how she just She didn't do nearly enough for someone whose family owns a fortune, who has lots of money, and because as a result of having a lot of money, I'm sure has quite a lot of pull or ability. And so it's just like it didn't make sense to me for her to not do more than what she was doing to help this child that she not only knew was getting physically abused and verbally abused because she overheard the bestie's plan, but the bestie was physically beating and verbally abusing this child in front of her. And old girl didn't start putting hands on her till sh- sh- hands was thrown her way. And I'm like, if you see a child getting hit in front of you that you know didn't do anything, that you know has been being abused because you know that this best friend of yours is trying to take this revenge out on you by hitting the child she think is yours. I don't know why more action wasn't taken. But yeah, that's it for this week's mini episode. Like and follow. Check out last week's episode. We talked about what it was worth, what you are worth, and I would like to hear what your thoughts are on that particular conversation. Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think of this first mini episode. And yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for being. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.